Hello everyone, today we're going to be jumping back into Historic Brawl with Oswald Fiddlebender. Now, Oswald is a 2-mana 2/2 with an amazing ability. We can pay 1 white and sacrifice an artifact, and then search our library for a different artifact with mana value 1 plus that sacrificed artifact's mana value, putting that onto the battlefield. We can only do this at sorcery speed, but that's okay with us. We're going to be able to get a lot of value from this, upgrading our artifacts into other artifacts. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the key spells that we've got in here. We do have Liquid Metal Coating. This can let some of our other permanents be turned into artifacts and sacrificed to Oswald if we need to. Going up the curve, at the very top, we have Portal to Phyrexia as a 9-mana artifact. Going down to 8, Cityscape Leveler. And then beneath that, we have Meteor Golem, the Thresher, Wormcoil Engine. The fun thing with Combat Thresher here is if we get this out on turn 3 for its prototype, we can actually go ahead and upgrade that into our Cityscape Leveler the next turn. So we can get a Cityscape Leveler as early as turn 4. Very powerful. Aside from that, we've just got a bunch of other artifacts that are going to help us out. Things like the One Ring and the Mystic Forge to dig deeper into our deck for more draws. We also have a Cloudsteel Kirin. Now this is a really fun artifact for us to grab. We can go ahead and equip that onto Oswald or onto one of our other threats, maybe protect it with Swiftfoot Boots, and keep us from losing the game. Now, if you guys have been enjoying my videos so far, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on my latest content. And if you do enjoy this video, make sure you give it a like to let me know. Let's go ahead and see how this deck does. Alright, opponent going first, but this looks like a good starting hand. We're going to go ahead and keep. We're up against Valky and Tybalt. Fortunately for us, we do have no creatures in our hand, so if they do go the Valky route, we're going to be in a good position. Okay, opponent starts by scrying. I think I'm going to play the Shelter tapped. We wouldn't have enough mana to hold up Shelter on the turn we cast Oswald, so instead we're going to play out the Swiftfoot Boots, and then when we play Oswald, we can attach the boots. It's going to be much stronger for us. Alright, opponent with access to 1 mana. It could be what they need to kill Oswald, but we're going to try and attach the boots. We do get it. Alright, swinging in for that 2 damage right off the bat. Looks good. Now we have both Damping Sphere and Deafening Silence. I think they're going to have to pick Repair and Recharge. Oh, sorry. I think this is going to be the best choice. But we'll see. Okay, Cloud Key works as well. Alright, maybe we go Glass Casket to get rid of the Skyclave Relic. Kinda like that. Creature. Never mind. Let's go ahead and upgrade this. And then we'll go for the Annex Sentry. Now we get rid of our Skyclave Relic. We'll see. Opponent can kill the Annex Sentry, get it back. Now let's go Deafening Silence. Alright, opponent kills Deafening Silence. Clearly not something they want to contend with. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and pick Tybalt here. Looking good. Let's go for the Liquid Metal Coating. And we're gonna just go ahead and replace that coating. Now what do we want here? We could ramp with Thran Spider, or we could get Cloudsteel Kirin. I think we're going to ramp with the Thran Spider. I like that. Go ahead and deal some damage to our opponent. Opponent knows everything in our hand. Next turn, we can also upgrade our Thran Spider into something a little bit nicer. Let's move to combat. Yep. Go ahead and deal that damage. Let's upgrade our Thran Spider. We have a couple of different options here. Hedron Archive could be good. I think Mystic Forge is going to be a little bit nicer, though, just based on what we've got in our hand. Let's play out a Damping Sphere as well. Make sure we adequately slow down our opponent. Alright, they are going to get their relic back. I think we just let that happen. Now they can play out Tybalt here. But it doesn't look like they are. And we've got it. Alright, and here we are on the play into Ragavan. Now, Annex Sentry is going to be okay, but I want to find some better early interaction. Okay, this is turn 2. We can deal with the Ragavan our opponent plays. I kind of like this. We'll go ahead and keep this instead. Now, being on the play into Ragavan is just about as good as we can get. Watch the turn 1 Ragavan play. When our opponent does play their Ragavan this turn, we'll be able to remove it with Lost to Legend. Yep. And we draw another land. We're going to go ahead and wait here. This is an instant, after all. See our opponent swing. Yep. Alright, now we'll get rid of Ragavan. Stopping our opponent from hitting us with Ragavan is going to be very powerful. And then next turn we'll be able to play out Oswald, and we can protect it with the Resolve here. Now, opponent did elect to put Ragavan in their library. Plays out Lizard Blades. Here's Oswald. End the turn here. We have our Resolve. If our opponent does try and use a removal spell, we can go ahead and use the Resolve on that. Ideally, our opponent's going to try and kill Oswald pre-combat. That way we can also block for free. Alright. Looks good. Alright, now opponent chooses not to attack. Going back to my turn. Let's go Arcane Signet. We can trade up the Arcane Signet if we want to. I kind of like the idea of doing that, so we'll go ahead and tap our Signet for 1, sacrifice it. What do we want here? I think Annex Sentry could be very strong, acting as some removal. Thran Spider is also a good blocker and ramps us. I think we go for the Thran Spider. I think it'll be better to have a good blocker. We don't really care about ramping our opponent too much. We definitely have the better artifact synergies. And we still have Resolve to protect Oswald. Okay. Opponent plays out Kamano. That's not an issue. We can trade Thran Spider for one of our 4-mana artifacts next turn if we want to. That would be an option. Alright. We can also just block with Thran Spider here. Let's see what our opponent's got. Okay, moving to combat. Nope, not gonna swing. Alright. Back to my turn. Drawing into a Repair Recharge. Now we are in an interesting spot where we could play out the Hedron Archive, but I don't think we should. I don't want to just pass either. Perhaps we'll sacrifice our Power Stone token. I kind of like that. Or maybe we do the Thran Spider. Which one's going to be more value for us? I want Thran Spider as a blocker. Let's sacrifice the Power Stone. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead... Let's see, we could get Portable Hole. Get rid of Lizard Blades. I think that's probably the way to go. And then we'll still hold up our Resolve. Keep Thran Spider as our blocker past the turn. Opponent's going to be drawing their commander back next turn. They're just playing a nice slow game. Ideally, we're going to see one more land. Okay, that's fine. Atsushi comes in with a +1/+1 counter. Still can't attack with their captain. Okay, we do find the land. I think we're going to risk it this turn and play out the Hedron Archive. If we have to, we can cycle the Resolve. Try and find something nice for our next turn. It still is going to be difficult for our opponent to attack. They can attack with Atsushi. That would be pretty strong. Though we are going to have access to 6 mana next turn. Yep. Okay, yeah. Opponent does attack with Atsushi. We could block with the Thran Spider, but there's no need to just yet. We'll take that damage. Thinking if we draw a land, we might want to go at Immortal Sun, hold up the Resolve. I think that could be very strong for us, giving us more card draws. Okay, sure. Opponent plays out a sword. They can equip it as well. Surprised they didn't do that pre-combat. But we'll see. Now, working our way up to being able to cast Portal is going to be very strong for us. Sure, yep, they go ahead and equip that. On to my turn. Okay, so we do find Swiftfoot Boots. I'm going to go ahead and play out Immortal Sun here, though. This is going to buff all of our creatures. We'll pass the turn, and more importantly, it's going to make some of our other options less expensive. Now, additionally, we can trade the Immortal Sun with Oswald for one of our 7 mana options, and then use Repair and Recharge to get Immortal Sun back and ramp us. Kind of like that as one of our options. Yep, we'll take the damage. Again, slow and steady, working our way up to the portal. Okay, blaze out the Ragavan. That's fine by me. Let's see if they've got anything else going on. I mean, as long as we keep Oswald, we're gonna be in a good spot. Okay, drawing 2 cards. Okay, let's activate Oswald, sacrifice the Immortal Sun. We have 2 choices. I'm gonna pick the Meteor Golem. We're gonna use that to get rid of Atsushi. We're gonna tap this for mana. Cast our Repair and Recharge. Bring back the Immortal Sun. And now we're still holding up a Resolve, which puts us in a really great spot. No need to attack here, we'll end the turn. We've got good blockers for our opponent. They'll probably play out the Firebrand as well. That does give them some resiliency for the Portal to Phyrexia. We can play Portal next turn, though. That's going to clear our opponent's board. For the most part, they'll get to pick one of their creatures to keep. Unless they swing out, in which case we'll block. Alright. This is also fine. Everything's looking pretty good. We'll be drawing 2 cards as well with Immortal Sun. On to my turn. Drawing that additional card. God Pharaoh's Statue is also going to be really good for us. Lots of good options in hand. And we have Shelter. Let's just play out the Portal here. No need to be too crazy. Give them a difficult choice. They'll be keeping the Hazoret for sure. I think their other keep is probably going to be Ragavan. But we'll see. No, we've got it. Alright. Alright, and here we go. Playing into an Atali. This is an okay starting hand, so I'm willing to keep it. We're going to start with Cave of the Frost Dragon, since it'll enter untapped. Now next turn, while we could play out the Oswald, I actually think we're going to go for the Lion's Dash here. Get an artifact out on the battlefield, be able to start interacting with our opponent's graveyard. Not that they're playing a graveyard deck, but could be nice to have. I'm going to play out Boromir next. Now this way we're going to actually be able to protect our Oswald when we play it out with the sacrifice on Boromir. A couple of different options for next turn. Okay, ramping with Invasion of Zendikar, sure. They're making their way up to Atali. We do ideally want to find a way to deal with the Atali. Since next turn our opponent is going to be able to cast it. Alright, well, that could potentially be our way out. We can also channel here and get rid of their Mana Dork if they choose to attack. We'll see. We have some options. I think we're actually going to just play out Aganjo as the land and have Oswald here. Yep, no need to equip the Lion Sash. Let's go ahead. Move to attack. I think we're going to get in some damage while we can. Just because we have Vigilance here, no reason not to. Pass the turn. Okay, here comes Atali. Yep. Makes sense. Okay, they hit Esper Sentinel. Great Henge is unfortunate. Yep. Okay. There we go. Good job, Boromir. Counter some spells for us. We have Banishing Slash for Atali as well. That's pretty good. Now, what do I want to do here? We can play out the Damping Sphere. And I think I'm going to use Oswald to upgrade our Damping Sphere into something a little bit nicer. What do we want? I think we get the Mithril Coat here. Or we could also go ahead and get our red-green sword. I think that's going to be really powerful. Let's go for the red-green sword. End the turn here. Now they can deal damage with Atali. We don't have enough mana for Banishing Slash, but we can do that on our turn if they choose to attack. Old Nabo. That's going to give our opponent a bunch of treasures. Yeah. No blocks. We'll just let this happen. It's a lot of treasures. Yep. Boromir coming in clutch. very strong in this matchup. Okay. Destiny Spinner, that's gonna stop some of the counters. We can destroy that because it's an enchantment. Okay. On to my turn. I do have some options, I think. I'm going to start by equipping the sword to Boromir. Gonna move to combat. Deal that damage. Okay, and get some planes. Play out both of our lands. And now we do have mana for both Banishing Slash and Disenchant. I'm gonna use Disenchant right now. And then Banishing Slash, do we want to get rid of Atali? Or do we want to save this and deal with the old Gnawbone? I think we get rid of Atali here. Actually don't care if our opponent casts it again, because we have Boromir. We're in a pretty good spot. Be able to use the One Ring to draw some extra cards. Yep. Opponent can replay Atali here. I'm perfectly okay with that. Now I can also use Worm Coil, and then if we get another land, sacrifice the Worm Coil, get a Meteor Golem, kill Old Gnawbone. Kinda like that. Sure, opponent casts Atali here. See what they exile, Thran Spider. That's good. Yep. That's fine. In the graveyard you go. Gonna swing with Old Gnawbone, get a whole bunch of tokens. Treasure tokens, that's also fine by me. Sure, Scrap Gorger, that's fine. I think best case scenario here, our opponent empties their hand, so we see everything that they're dealing with. Yeah, that's also good. Everything's looking really good to me here. Plus we have a plethora of options for our next turn. We do draw the land, so I'm gonna go Worm Coil here. And I'm gonna use Oswald. Sacrifice Worm Coil Engine. Get two smaller Worm Coils. Let's grab ourselves a Meteor Golem. Use that to kill Old Gnawbone. Then we'll move to combat. Swing out with Boromir. Okay, land and Skrelv. That was just about as perfect as it gets. Go ahead and end the turn. Now, opponent can flip Atali, but we're gonna be able to block here. Yep. Sure, get rid of the Worm Coil. Fine by me. One Ring is gonna give us protection. Okay. Swing in with Atali. I think we'll go ahead and block with this, and I think the Lion Sash as well. Just reduce a little bit of that incoming damage. We'll gain some life as well. Okay, moving on to my turn. I'm gonna cast out the One Ring here. Okay, gonna move to combat. Are gonna leave Meteor Golem back, swing like this. Opponent can choose to block if they want to. They do. A very smart choice. See what we got. Okay, that doesn't particularly matter for us. Let's go ahead and use Oswald, trade up this Meteor Golem. Get ourselves a Cityscape Leveler. Now we have a couple of other options here. Let's use the One Ring to draw a card. Okay. Gonna cast out the Patchwork Automaton. And then Deafening Silence. Should be in a really strong position. Notably, we still have protection from everything. Opponent can only cast one non-creature spell as well. No need to block. I mean, we do have protection, so I mean, there's no reason not to block here. But we'll just not block. I think that'll be even easier. We have protection. Not even gonna risk some niche scenario where they can remove the sword. We've got it. Alright. Okay, everyone, I hope you enjoyed. As we saw, Oswald is a very powerful commander, capable of finding exactly what we need, depending on the situation, to get the job done. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you have any ideas for another video you'd like to see me make, why don't you go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you all next time.